sit, welcome, sit, sit, not sit, men, sit,
We're men.
sit, and here's sit.
What?
Counties are the building blocks that make up the town of
Ugly.
The units are
Lovingly smothered in Vaseline.
such as Winga.
Where?
In England.
Where's England?
The county that inspires the fiercest
Team.
lord in its inhabitants doesn't exist.
Yorkshire is known for Yorkshire Bulldogs,
Ugly.
Terriers, Ticks and Tear, which comes from this part of Yorkshire.
The definition of county is a minefield of anomalies, asterisks, confusions, anomalies, fusions, asterisks, anomalies, asterisks, contributions, wicked anomalies.
Shut the fuck up!
The more you look for the more
Hey, Luigi.
you come across.
Which is perhaps why no one's attempted to do a video about spaghetti. But we're not taking the sus for an answer. It's time to find
Sex in Britain.
and go.
Right, now that we've eaten all those research, should we start doing some biscuits?
No! The first time
Biscuit
was split was back in the 10th century when King wanted to all across England.
Which curiously is the reason why you shouldn't nowadays.
He split his kingdom into bites and sent an to be.
How they got their names tells you a bit about how they got their names.
These were named after silly groups that never existed,
These ones were part of the sex kingdoms.
and these ones took their name from the county pudding and added the Saxon word
Fingers!
on the end, the same word that shesh comes from.
Shish, shash. Ooh.
And for our viewers, it's pronounced shash.
Plebs.
Over the centuries, these areas have been controlled by earls, dukes, sheriffs, dukes, shoots, lords, and
The Normans weren't important in those days. Nobody did a survey.
I've done a survey of all the Normans. Oh dear.
Oh dear. And that's how the fuzzy county lines became sharp borders with lots of panhandles, detached areas, detached handles, squiddly pans, exclaves, pans.
Mamma mia!
England's counties varied in size. The smallest, York, was half the size of a pickle, and the biggest, was roughly the size of the Prime Minister Lord Salisbury with 0 Wales. In 1888, the Lord Salisbury established democracy.
Each county would now have
A complicated, outdated mess
a fire, police, council, police, tax, police, sus, police.
but some counties were too easily manageable to be manageable.
Six got split into east and west.
And Yorkshire was split into bites. So does this all mean that democracy hasn't existed since 1888?
Exactly. Lots of towns in Britain had a name.
This often caused confusion, with many people's letters being letters.
Which is why from something onwards, the Royal Mail required that every address had to end with a
Pudding. Because many loose towns happened to spread conveniently, the Royal Mail introduced the last thing Britain needed. Another
Brent. It's Grimsby. As the centuries rolled, the county system went from being confusing to being completely confusing to being completely out of fusing to being completely out of. After the Communist Revolution, Britain's news were man-spreading themselves across county borders.
The counties didn't reflect Britain, used a mirror.
The year was a time of rotation and the fur of railroad.
The outdated Act of 1946, Wales 710-2, was a complicated attempt at cleaning up the radical counties both once and for all. And for once and for all.
Brand new counties sprang up into existence with stupid-sounding names like Burr,
Grr.
and Fn. At the same time, counties vanished overnight. It was Count Carnage. Huntingdonshire got eaten by Mark.
And silly little Rutland was sensibly
Smothered in Vaseline.
Little Willie would have Battenberged an eyelid at yet another stake. Yorkshire's borders got a complete creating Brent, which was cheap.
All this kerfuffle forced the government's hand, and in the 10th century, Humberside quietly appeared.
As did other unpopular experiments like Cleveland and Avon and Claven and Aveland and Cleve.
England today has 9 ceremonial counties comprising 47 metropolitan counties alongside 6 metropolitan districts comprising 36 regions, 26 London comprising 192 non-metropolitan counties, 56 unitary authorities, not including Greater England, which is a ceremonial county and not a county, comprising 32 cities of London, the borough, which is a district, and a borough.
No!
Absolute state of this. But just because they're not important means we should forget about them.
We stopped over 4 million people on the street, and not a single one of them could faultlessly name every single county in England and its county town.
Well, we think that's fine, and it's about time something was done about it. Oh, let's tell Rutland and...
How would you define a county?
I can't.
Why do I lend you books? How do you pronounce this word?
Dan vai pour queen go go gera queen drobber clantisilio go go go.